Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video I wanted to talk about a new vehicle that I purchased, and actually my first vehicle I ever purchased in my entire life. Now before I start, I want to say excuse me for my voice. I've been sick for the past few weeks, and if you guys see random cuts throughout the video, I'm just having a cough attack, so excuse me for that. I just keep catching these sicknesses week after week, so I don't know what it is. But back to the main point of the video. So I've leased a few vehicles throughout my life. I've had hand-me-downs kind of given to me throughout my younger life as well. But this is the first vehicle where I was like, okay, I need to find something where I'm going to kind of purchase it and pay it off relatively quick, and then have it hopefully for at least a decade, if not more. A lease is kind of nice because it's really cheap, and you don't have to worry about maintenance, you don't have to worry about reliability later on in life. But I wanted to finally purchase a vehicle and keep it for myself. Now another requirement for me was to have 0% APR, or 0% interest, because in the religion that I believe in, Islam, we cannot buy things with interest. We cannot finance with interest. So finding a deal with 0% interest with a vehicle that kind of satisfies my needs and wants was a little bit of a challenge. So rewind back to 2022. Actually, I believe, yeah, it was 2021, back in December of 2021. I went to a Ford dealership up in Longmont, and they had this truck that I really liked. It was a 2022 F-150 Lariat. It was in the antimatter blue. It had a few things that I didn't need, like the chrome package and random things that I was never going to use, but it was a 5.0 5-liter V8, and it had the 3.73 electronic locking rear diff. Those two were the main important things that I really wanted in a truck. Now at that time, in December of 2021, they were doing 0% for 60 months. But also at that time, I didn't have enough work history and my credit wasn't that good, let's be honest. So I didn't get qualified for the financing deal. And so I kind of had to let it go, and I was like, whatever. So for the next month or two, I was shopping around for trucks, or vehicles really, and I specifically wanted a truck. And to be honest, it's so comfortable. I never really thought I would drive a truck, but I drove in a truck years ago, and ever since then I was like, man, I always wanted to buy a truck for myself. Now I know people complain about gas mileage and the new wave is electric vehicles and things like that, but I don't know, for whatever reason I've always wanted a truck. And also we've gotten into hunting for the past few years, so it's a really nice hunting vehicle, or it will be a nice hunting vehicle as well. And also we live in Colorado, so there's going to be snowstorms and blizzards and things like that, so it allows us to get out into the mountains and explore and do things like that. So there's some logic behind the reason why I wanted to buy a truck. Now also I did want to mention that I work from home, so the truck is not a work truck at all. I don't work in construction or anything like that. I never use it for work. I work from home, so it has nothing to do with that kind of stuff. So anyways, I spent the next month or two kind of looking for a vehicle, looking for a truck, and I think Ram had 0% for a few months. I don't think Chevy I think potentially they offered it for a month, but I wasn't really interested in Chevys for whatever reason. I don't like the new engine, the cylinder deactivation and things like that. I heard there's a lot of issues with the GMCs and the Chevys, so I didn't want to get into that kind of company. And then Toyota, the Tundras, they never offer 0%, so that was also out of the equation. So really my two options at that point were Ram or Ford. And after a little bit of research, I decided that I was going to go with the Ford, and so I put an order in. And also my friend has a Ford and I enjoyed it. I took it actually hunting with me as well, and it did really good. But that was actually a few months later. At that specific point in time, I never took an F-150 out to go hunting or off-roading or anything like that, but I heard good things about the F-150. So in February of 2022, I decided to order my 2022 F-150. Now the way I ordered it was really a little bit unique, and I was kind of lucky to be able to put the order in at that time. And you can't order the same exact truck that I ordered anymore. It's a little bit different and you have to pay a lot more. But basically, I'll show you guys the window sticker here in a little bit, if I can find it, hopefully. But the way I optioned it out is I get the things that I really want, or some of the things that I need. So the things that I needed was a 5-liter V8. I've always wanted a V8 truck specifically. I need the 3.73 electronic locking rear diffs for off-road use, and basically just to get more torque in the low end. And that was kind of it. Now initially I actually was going to get an XLT, I remember, and because it was cheaper. But the options that I put on it made the XLT almost the same price as the Lariat. And also the Lariat, if you guys don't know, has leather seats, has heated and ventilated front seats, has a digital cluster, which I really liked when I was test driving them. I really love the aesthetic of the kind of electronic, you know, digital cluster, and then you have the big old screen in the middle. I really enjoy it. I'm the kind of person that really likes technology. Now I know a lot of people are going to say, well, the more technology, the more parts there are to a car, the more potential to break, and that is 100% true. But I'll talk about that in a little bit. So I ended up optioning the vehicle to a few things here and there to where I really would enjoy the truck and keep it for a long time and not, you know, wish that, oh, I wish I got this, I wish I got that. So I really optioned it to what I really wanted / needed, but I didn't want to get too expensive because trucks nowadays are extremely expensive. They're priced ridiculously. So I also had to stay within budget. I had to keep that in mind. I can't just go check off every option and end up paying $80,000, $90,000 for a truck. So after I placed my order, that was I think February 25th or something like that, February 26th, I got an email from Ford saying, okay, your order is confirmed. And then after a few months, it was in production. And then after a few months, it mentioned that I got an email that it was shipped, or it was done being built, and it shipped the next day. And so that was, I believe, in August of 2022, within 6 months. I was like, that's really quick, because I heard on forums and other people on YouTube talking about their trucks taking about 10 months to a year. Some people on forums have mentioned they've been waiting for the truck over a year. So I was really happy that, oh my God, it's 6 months and it's already being built and shipped. So I was really expecting it to come within the next month. So I waited until September and the truck still didn't come in. And so I had to call Ford, and I had to call the railroad companies, and I had to call the transportation companies and do X, Y, and Z just to find out that my truck was actually still not built and it was on a chip hold. So I contacted my dealership and I told them, hey, there's a chip hold, what's going on? They tried to contact the regional rep or something like that. He wouldn't reach out. He didn't reach back out to him. And at the same time, Ford laid off a few thousand employees. And so everything was kind of in the air. The people that had the information were gone. The people that were still there didn't know how to get the information that was needed to see where the truck is or what's going on with the truck. So I didn't really know what was going on with the truck. I just knew that it was potentially built and it was potentially shipped, but not really. So it was kind of confusing. But I waited. Finally, on October 25th, which is exactly 8 months, from February 25th to October 25th, exactly 8 months after, I got a text from my salesman, sent me a picture that, hey, your truck is finally here. So I went, I looked at it, I was extremely happy, super excited, and I ended up purchasing the vehicle. Now, I do want to mention a few things. And I'll give a shout out to Mike Maroney Ford, and they're in Longmont, Colorado. Now, to rewind a little bit, back in February, I was shopping around, trying to see where I could get the best deal. And on forums, people were mentioning that they got their trucks for invoice pricing, or some people have even gotten it under invoice, like 3 to 5% under invoice. So I called every single dealership in Colorado, and there was only 2 that basically told me they'd sell me a truck for invoice. And that was Mike Maroney Ford and Champ Ford on Havana. Everyone else said there's no way. At that time there was markups. So every truck was being sold for $10,000 over MSRP. So they were like, no way, we'll sell it to you for MSRP, but no way we're going to go down to invoice. And then they gave you the whole talk of, oh, we're not going to make money if we sell it at invoice, blah, blah, blah. I didn't believe it. I just put an order in with Champ, which required $1,000, and then I put an order in with Mike Maroney Ford that required nothing down. So I didn't have to put any money down. So I finally put the order in for the 2 trucks, or for the 2 trucks at 2 different dealerships. But then a few weeks later, it was a few months later, I was reading on the forums that Ford increased their prices. And I called my dealerships, Mike Maroney and Champ, and I told them, hey, I know Ford increased their prices, but is my price locked in? Can you guys make sure my price is locked in? Mike Maroney Ford said, that's no problem. We're locking you in at $53,950 or whatever it was. Champ was saying, I'm sorry, this is coming from corporate Ford. We can't do anything about it. Your price now is $55,000 and a couple $100. So I told them, okay, that's fine. Refund me my $1,000 and let me get that money back. And so they refunded it, no problem, but I didn't like the games that they were playing. Obviously, another dealership could do it, so it's not a corporate thing where they can't change it. So the reason I'm telling you guys this is because when you're ordering a truck or when you're buying a truck, make sure you shop around different dealerships, make sure you're getting the best deal, and don't buy into their sales tactics of, oh, if we could, we would, but we can't because corporate company, Ford, or whatever other company you guys are shopping around for is not letting us. Don't believe everything your salesman says. So then now fast forward back to October. After I canceled the order with my other dealership, and my only hope after 8 months is this dealership. I walked in, I was extremely nervous, and I was like, if these guys play any kinds of games, they will have the upper hand, because at that time, the MSRP, the base price for a Lariat, was I think $57,000 with 0 options, nothing at all. $57,000 for a base Lariat 4x4 and with the 5.5-inch bed. To sell me a truck with options, any kind of options, for $53,000 was a great deal. So anything that they had the upper advantage, saying, oh well, I'm not going to sell you the truck, you're going to have to pay X amount. So I was really nervous, but I walked in and we were talking and we finally got to meet in person. It was all over text. And we finally got to meet in person, and the salesman, Anthony, he was really nice. But he ended up trying to play kind of a game with me where he said, well, here's your invoice. Sorry, I couldn't find your other invoice that we sent you. Didn't you mention that you had like an invoice a while ago? Because it was 8 months, and I'm sure he sold a few other trucks to a few other customers within that time frame. So maybe he did forget about it. Maybe he did lose it. I don't know. I kind of expected some kind of game to be played. So I had the email pulled up where I had the invoice sheet, and I showed it to him that it was in writing $53,950. Now, during the few months of when I ordered the truck to when it came, there was a few things that Ford did to kind of speed up production, because at that time it was taking way too long for trucks to get out. One of those things being the bed liner, of course, so I got that removed. I didn't even order it with it because the dealer at that time told me it's going to take a few more months to get that specific thing, so just get it aftermarket. The other thing was the Ford Copilot Active or Assist 2.0, I think it was. I ordered it with the truck, but it never came, and they removed it, and I think they gave me $700 credit to remove that thing. I really wanted it with the truck. I love active cruise control, and the fact that it could kind of tell the distance between cars and have lane centering and things like that, speed sign recognition. I thought that kind of technology was really cool, so I did order it, especially for $700. It's definitely worth it. So they ended up removing it, and I was kind of bummed out about it, but I was like, it's fine. But the issue came where he was saying, okay, well, your invoice is still $53,950, so that's kind of what you're gonna end up paying. I was like, okay, that's cool, but I never got this feature that I initially paid for, which was the active or the Ford Copilot Assist 2.0. I should get $700 credit back. And he kept going back and forth with me, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, you know what? You understand what my point is, that I paid for something I never got, and now it's just a matter of customer service. If you want to take the $700 off, you can. If you don't want to, it's cool. I'll still buy the truck. It is what it is. It's still a good deal. So after a while, after talking with him, forming some kind of relationship, and just kind of talking, being friendly, and not being aggressive or anything like that, he was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take that $700 off for you as well. And then there was another $200 credit for something else, and then $50 credit for the auto start stop removal. So I ended up paying exactly $53,000 and like a few dollars for the truck. That was my exact price after all the discounts and removals and things like that. That was the final price. And then of course there was still tax and all those other fees. I think that the only fee that they charged was some kind of dock fee. I think it was like $1,700. But once the law in Colorado is once you charge it for one customer, you have to charge it for all customers. So that actually is a law here in Colorado. It's not just some kind of sales tactic. Going back to the fact that there's so many electronics and things can break, I 100% agree with that. So what I ended up doing is, okay, hold on. I skipped over a whole part. After dealing with the salesman, you have to go to the finance guy. And so I ended up going to the finance guy. He's like, hey, do you want any of these warranties? He starts explaining it to me, and I'm like, no, it's okay. Like, Let me just look it over real quick and look over all the options. The only thing I'm interested in is just kind of an extended bumper-to-bumper warranty to cover the electronics and potentially the powertrain and transmission, things like that, that hopefully shouldn't go bad within the next few years, but let's just cover it if it's included. But the main thing I want to cover is the electronics in the car for the next few years. So he said, okay, well, this is probably your best bet. I was like, okay, can I see the pricing of this package, this extended warranty versus no extended warranties, like nothing at all? Just the truck with no warranties, no packages, no aftermarket things, no whatever. He's like, sure. He was showing me, I did the math, the price he was showing me with no packages, no extended warranties, the truck came out to like $62,000. And what I ended up doing at that time is I was trying to be so nice, okay? I was really trying my hardest to be nice to these people, because I'm sure they deal with a whole bunch of, you know, crooks and people who are, you know, mad at the world and whatnot. So anytime I deal with, you know, customer facing people, I try to be really nice. I really do. So I pulled up my phone and I pulled up the calculator and I said, okay, taxes are, I think it was like $4,000 for tax, $1,700 dock fee, and then $53,000 for the truck. It ended up coming out to, divided by, I think they were doing 0% for 36 months at that time, so divided by 36, it came out to a certain number. I was like, where are you getting this extra few $100s from? Where is that coming from? And then he like looks at me and he's like kind of shocked, and he's being super passive aggressive. He's like, oh, well, Ford just automatically includes these packages and blah blah. And he pulls up like a billion packages that he added before I even stepped into his office. And he ended up removing each and every single one. I was like, why did you even add that? Like, we're being, you know, nice to each other. We're being honest with each other. Why did you add these packages? I never asked for them. And if they're included by Ford, why am I paying for it? And so he got, you know, he was really passive aggressive. He was an extremely, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the interaction with him. I liked the salesman. The finance guy that I was dealing with, he's an absolute crook, let's be honest. And so he ended up taking off all those packages. I was like, take off everything. I don't want any packages. If I have to pay for any package, remove it. I don't want it. That's it. And so he said, okay. He took everything off. I made sure the math was correct, and I was paying for exactly what I knew I was paying for. The truck, the taxes, and the fee, the dock fee. That's what I was paying for. I said, okay, now let's add this extended warranty that just has the electronics covered, and that same package actually included an extended bumper-to-bumper warranty for 7 years, or 100,000 miles. So I was like, okay, let's add it. How much does it cost? It came out to, I think it was like $60 a month. I said, you know what, that's perfectly fine with me. Let's add that. Can you show me the fine print? I need everything kind of documented of what this package includes. He printed it out for me. He showed me exactly what it is. Covers a bunch of things, including the electronics and the powertrain and transmission, for $60 a month for the next 3 years. I said, okay, let's do that, and let me pay for it, and let's get out of here. So that's kind of the story of how I got my truck, and the little ups and downs of getting the truck and things like that. I've been enjoying it a lot so far. It's been about 3,400 miles with the truck. I've been really enjoying it. I'm gonna end this video here and make another video talking about kind of my review or first impressions with the truck, but this video specifically just to mention that I ordered a truck, my first truck ever, or my first vehicle ever to buy and to finance and to hopefully keep for a long time. And then also the kind of the ups and downs, the journey of getting the truck and kind of how it went. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Also, if you guys are new here, please hit that subscribe button. I'm looking to make more F-150 videos, especially with the 2022, and talk about why it's unique and you cannot order this specific configuration anymore. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to drop a like, and inshallah I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.